Okay, next thing we're going to do is loosen all these screws up and pop the cover off. All these screws loose, you move the clutch lever and the cover will just come off. Now you want to take care with the gasket. Doesn't matter whether it stays with the cover or the motor. We have to take this nut off and get this pulley off in order to split the cases. So in order to get the pulley off, we have to drop the cam chain down. So the first thing that we want to do is take this nut off, then we can go ahead and take the clutch off and take the countershaft sprocket loose. So with it in gear, the crank is locked. Okay, so with a 30mm socket and a cheater bar, we'll loosen this nut up. Alright, and now we can take it off. Now we're going to remove the clutch, which is simply a matter of cracking these bolts loose and then removing them. Alright, with the bolts loose, you can see that the springs have their tension released, and we can just remove all 6 of these guys, and then the clutch pack will come out, leaving the basket. So we'll get these out. And then pull the entire basket out. The clutch pack, not the basket. Okay. So this is a set of friction plates and pressure plates. That's what the clutch pack is. I want it to stay together, so I'm going to put it in a bag. Alright, now we got to get this nut loose, but just like the countershaft sprocket, it's a tab washer. So we got to knock the tab back. Alright, this is a 1 1/16 socket. It's the same as 27mm, which fits this nut. Now the thing is, in order to remove this, you can see that the basket will just spin. This is the input to the transmission, so you have no way to hold this. So you've got to figure out a way to hold this so that you can get this nut loose. I've got this clutch tool, which is a very fancy vice grip, and it's designed to grab a clutch basket, and I'm going to use this tool to hold it. But if you don't have one of these handy, what you can do is, if you can find somebody that's got an old clutch pack around, you can take a set of the of plates and drill some holes in them and rivet the plates together, because every other plate grabs the outside and the other plates grab the inside, and by riveting them together you keep this thing steady. So I'm going to do this. Alright. Okay, and then there's the tab washer. Alright, take the tool loose. And now we got to get the basket out. Now to get the basket out, what we're going to do is take the top cover, put it back on there, and take 2 of the screws and screw them in there just finger tight. just a little bit. So we screw them in there several threads. Okay, and now we got a puller. We can go. The basket comes right out. Alright, now this washer has splines, and we've got to get the splines lined up with the shaft. There we go. In order to get this guy out. So what happens is it rotates a little bit in there. When you pull this out, you don't want the bearings to slip out and get all dirty. So now the clutch is out. There's the splined washer. I should mention that this is not necessary if you're just dropping the engine. The reason that I'm taking this stuff off is because I'm going to split the crankcase. And in order to split the crankcase, this shaft and this shaft, that's the crankshaft, that's the input shaft for the transmission, they're going to go with the other half of the crankcase. So I have to pull this stuff off.